Right, hi lads and lasses, welcome to Darts Tips and Advice with Dynamite Dave. This is a personal video for a young chap called Bradders. What I'm going to do from now on is once a week I'm going to pick out one person who sends me the videos to analyse, and I'm actually going to do a video response. I've actually responded to about 15 or 20 people this week, advising them on the throw and what have you, but early on in the week I decided to do this and I chose Bradders. So Bradders, this is a personal one just for you, mate. Right, so here we go. To start off, I'll put myself some pace notes over here. So first of all, we've got your stance, right? I noticed from the front angle, when you're setting yourself up and you're turning your leg in, you're putting your toe, but you're turning your leg completely sideways, this way. So what it's doing is it's fetching you away from the centre of the hockey. What you should be doing is putting your toe on and turning your foot in, so the centre of your body is in line with the bullseye. Because you're too far over here, I think this is why it's happening, but we'll only know this over the next couple of weeks as you practice. When you're throwing, what you're doing is, as your arm's coming back, as it's going forward, it's going across your body. So you're pulling the darts, basically. You're pulling the darts to one side. There's two reasons for that, I believe. Number one is because you're not straight on the hockey, because it strains this. If you're pulling the darts to the right hand side, so if you're left-handed and you're pulling them right, or you're right-handed and you're pulling them left, what you actually need to do is move further towards where you're throwing, which will force you then to pull the darts back across, so it works the opposite way. A lot of people I've seen in the past is what they'll do is, if they're throwing and they're throwing towards the one, what they'll do is they'll move this way in the hope that it'll go into the 20. That won't happen. What will happen is, if you move to the left, your dart will actually go to the right. So what you have to do is it feels very counterintuitive, but it is exactly what happens. If you move further this way, so if you move into the real centre of the hockey, that should then force you to attempt to throw further back that way, rather than making it easy for yourself, making it slightly harder for yourself, but forcing you to concentrate on what you're doing. Right, number two is, when you're actually throwing the darts, your basic stance is okay, it's pretty good. You're getting into the position right and you're standing relatively right. The only thing that you're doing is, when you're throwing towards the board, your arm's dropped. So what that's producing is you're pushing the dart up. Instead of throwing in a nice tick-tock motion like this, what you're having to do is you're having to push not with your body, but you're having to push the dart with your hand up, which is affecting your release, it's affecting your accuracy, and it'll definitely affect your concentration, because you're concentrating that much on trying to get the dart to where you want it to go. If you adopt the stance and what have you that I tell people I think is a good way to do it, it takes the effort out of it. Instead of you having to do all that and put all the concentration into getting your dart to the board, you can then actually put all the concentration into getting the accuracy, that tiny little bit that's the difference between hitting a 60 or just hitting outside the wire, rather than just hitting the 20. You'll find, if you adopt the way that I throw, if you go back and look at some of the slow motion videos, if you look at the way that I throw with a proper follow through and everything, all you're looking for then is you're going from being a basic dart player to being an advanced dart player. So once you've got that, you'll find, and it's really strange this, normally when you're muck spreading and it's really bad, you're hitting the 18s and the 12s, so your scoring's not too bad. But once you get to a level where you're hitting the 20s all the time, when you stray, every time you stray a little bit into the 1 and a little bit into the 5. So the more accurate a player you are, to be honest with you, the more detrimental it is to you. But to gain that last little bit of accuracy to turn you from an average player into, let's not say an elite player, but let's say a Super League standard player, is that little bit of accuracy. And this is where we step up into the more advanced stuff. Right, so we've got the elbow drop. Oh, and the other thing that I've noticed as well, this is the last thing that I'm going to do on this video for you. What I want you to do is, as I've said in the Zachy Grayling video, which was the first one I did for someone, on here anyway, what I want you to do is I want you to concentrate on this for a couple of weeks. I can see you're a keen dart player because you've even got a dartboard up for the little kiddie. So I've noticed that you're actually quite serious about this. And if you want to seriously get to my level of play, which if you've seen my videos, you'll see the level that I play at is in between the 90 and 100 mark. Some days I have done two sets at about 114 average, but that's few and far between. But I usually hover around the 100 mark, little bit below, little bit above, 104, 96, depending on what type of day it is. But if you want to get to that sort of level, obviously, as I've said, and as I say in all my videos, you only ever get out what you put in. So like I say, last thing on the thing is your wrist. Because your arm's dropping, you're having to use your wrist to throw the dart. You're having to use your wrist to throw the dart. Now, let me get the other two, and hopefully you might just be able to see this. What you're doing is, as you're coming back, you're going like you're using your wrist to throw the dart like this. If you address the other bits that I've just spoke to you about, and you get your stance up nice and in, throwing the dart literally is having your arm level and you release. Virtually no wrist in it whatsoever. And that's a good way to practice it. Is when you've got your dart in your hand, put your hand on your chest here and hold yourself. Hold yourself in. Make sure your stance is nice and closed, which I've noticed yours is quite nice and closed. You've got a little bit of movement in it, and that's what you've got to put, that little bit of openness into your stance to allow your arm to come across. Again, it's another thing. Another basic thing is, as I've said before, if you fetch your arm across, you'll find a point where it naturally stops. Now, if you throw at that point where it naturally stops, it's like using a ruler to draw a line. If you just try and draw a line freehand, you've got little inconsistencies. Some people have big inconsistencies, but you have little inconsistencies in it. You put it against a ruler and it's a straight line. Exactly the same thing. If you throw your darts like this and you've got loads of lateral movement in it, as you close yourself off like that, if you close yourself off, I get to it and I can't go any further. So, well, I can, obviously, I can force it further, but if you pull it to that point where it stops, and you use that as exactly the same as if you're using a pen against a ruler, right? So up over to there, stand nice and straight, bring your arm across to where it stops, and then throw. And then throw. Even if you've got to bring it across at every dart to start off with. That was 2 treble 18s and a single 1. And I'm just talking to you on here, I'm not concentrating on hitting big scores. Now you can hear the darts hitting together. That was 125. Well, that's what I say, you see, that's where your pulling comes in. But I've not thrown this morning, so I'm just warming up now. And these are not my darts either. And that, hopefully, as you've seen there, you can see I'm pretty much at a straight angle here. You should be able to see that my arm comes across and it goes perfectly straight. Like that, perfectly straight, no pulling across. And like I say, that'll force you to do that. If you bring your arm across and put your hand on your chest with your dart, just hold your darts in your hand, put your hand on your chest and throw. And don't lean forward, stand up nice and straight, Make sure you've got that elbow level and a lot less wrist in it, and just place the dart where you want it to go. Like this, nice good follow through like that. Make sure that your hand's coming away from your dart as your dart comes out your hand. So that's the first session that I'm going to do for you, Bradders. Hopefully you've understood what I've said there. If you go back on and look at the videos and look at my video, maybe split screen it, you'll see exactly what I'm saying. Like I say, practice this for a couple of weeks, get back in touch with me, tell me how much you've improved. Obviously, if you find that you've improved a lot and what have you, and you want to, put a comment on the video, and I'll use that as part of me backing for other people, so people can see that what I'm instructing, what I'm coaching people to do does actually have a big effect on them. Right, so thanks for watching Darts Hints, Tips and Advice with Dynamite Dave. Personal coaching session for Bradders. All right, Bradders, nice one, mate. Totally okay.